sister waiting any longer. I do have a woman of supreme stature, and a lot of y'all are a fan of this woman. She goes by the name of Thelma Anderson of the Public Opinion Court. You can catch her on all streaming platforms, YouTube, Facebook, and most definitely Instagram, and also TikTok. Without further ado, I'm going to bring my sister onto the stage. Shout out to my sister, the Public Opinion Court in this thing.
I'm back. I am back. I am back. I am back.
Sis, we got a lot to talk about.
Don't we?
You and I was just talking before the show started. This Nolan Wells case, it seems like we can't catch a break. These same feelings that I had with Carmelo Anthony, it just steamrolled over onto the Nolan Wells investigation. Mm-hmm. I know you have been following this Nolan Wells investigation because I follow you on all your platforms. We actually showed one of your videos last night at the end of our live stream, and you was on fire as usual. The autopsy was revealed, well, not the autopsy, but the preliminary autopsy of the independent preliminary autopsy that the family conducted was revealed today. And of course, I'm eager to hear your opinion on it. Just in case some of you guys have been living under a rock, our sister, Thelma Anderson of the Public Opinion Court, is in the legal field. She's a lawyer and she's a legal analyst, and she knows exactly what she's talking about. I'm pretty sure that she's not a stranger to autopsies. It's a part of her jurisdiction. And just off top, sis, because I know that you seen Ben Crump and I know that you seen the press conference today, and you seen the information that came out about the autopsy. Just off top, as an introduction, what's on your mind as far as this autopsy and everything?
I was pissed. Mm-hmm. I was pissed because we have a family who lost their son. We have a family who lost their cousin, lost their grandchild, lost their friend. And a community that also wants answers. And to see how law enforcement, coupled with the district attorney's office, judges, politicians, people in the background, are playing politics with us finding out exactly what happened to Nolan. And people don't understand. I see a lot of people that be in my comments. Why is Ben Crump in it? I'm sick of y'all. I'm sick of y'all. I'm gonna start calling y'all DJango because at the end of the day, Ben Crump came in and did what he was required to do. And
I think he's been doing an excellent job, to be honest with you.
And this is the first time in a long time where people have been able to see step by freaking step what real advocacy looks like. Mm-hmm. When we first got word of what happened to Nolan, I remember it was like late Sunday when I was like, what is going on? And I started posting, because this is all too familiar with our community. We're talking about bodies of water,
absolutely.
Our babies being around the clear people and they not making it home. It just dawned on me. I'm like, out of 4 people that are in this picture, 3 of you made it home and nobody is telling his parents what is going on. Oh no, boots on the ground.
Yep.
Because no, y'all not about to do what y'all did with Kendrick. See, y'all did what y'all did with Kendrick Johnson because that's before the internet had its power and social media had its leverage. So seeing what they did from the inception, making these blanket statements, no foul play, finding out Warren's stepmother making inconsistent statements that the mom didn't make. They can't even get on the same page. Then to see that y'all didn't want to give his dad his keys and he had to call law enforcement. That to me, his mother was very, very instrumental in the next 24 to 48 hours that were pivotal for this investigation. If his mama did not have that tracking on his phone, we would be far, far behind. Because guess what? With that tracking, they can't say that they don't have something. They didn't anticipate that baby's mama to be tracking his every move.
Absolutely.
So they had to give up the access to that phone because they would have destroyed that phone. After she did that and then understanding through, I believe, a family member, that's how Ben Crump got access to becoming their advocate within 24 to 48 hours. And it was up from there. It was BTA. It was making sure that this investigation is concluded in the way that it's supposed to be, not the way that they want it to be. There's a difference. Suppose and want are two different things. So when we got the autopsy results or preliminary results, it took the family having to release their preliminary results for the world to know exactly what is being done. And I appreciate them for doing so, because you see, they made this statement that they were going to release the results that Wednesday. And when they found out the parents were getting their independent investigation, they haven't even said anything about releasing anything else. They got the results. They know what happened. They know what's going on with Nolan and what happened to him. But see, they didn't anticipate the resources and the outreach, the outrage. And that's what
right.
they're trying to do. That's what they're trying to get in front of, but it's too late. It's too late. We see you. That's why we're disappointed in what that family had to do this morning and still not having answers as to what y'all did to their baby.
I'm always glad that I have you in the building. I want to talk about some things surrounding this investigation from your expert legal standpoint. From your expert opinion, you mentioned them having the phone, and I remember it being said that Wyatt had an attitude when the mother's friend, I think Javon's mom, went and asked for the phone. The father had a little difficult time getting the keys. Not a little, a lot difficult time getting the keys. They had to go get the phone. They had to go get the keys. These boys didn't voluntarily say, hey, we got his keys, we got his phone.
That's true.
From an expert legal standpoint, should these boys at least be out on bond right now? Should they have gotten arrested? Should they have been taken in at least as suspects? Should they be suspects at this point? They're not even suspects according to Jackson County Sheriff Department. Am I right about that?
No, they're not suspects. And that's a problem. That's a problem because they made several admissions to committing crimes that should have led to a limited arrest for one, alcohol underage. Under the legal limit, alcohol while boating. What else? And theft because they kept his phone. Yeah, those are 3 charges right there that they had more than the probable cause. They are misdemeanors. And also, we got to find out who the parent was, or the adult was, that brought the alcohol for these underage due to the legal age and the legal requirement, because y'all need to get charged too. Mm-hmm.
What do you think about Warren's stepmom, Ashley Cole, the judge Ashley Cole, who spoke out early concerning Nolan Wells' death and defending her stepson and the rest of the boys? I think she deactivated or deleted some things on her social media. I think she deactivated her social media. I think the boys had deactivated their social media too. What do you think about the Ashley making those statements? Is that okay for a judge to openly come out on social media during a very sensitive situation such as Nolan Wells' death, unsolved death? Obviously, it was an investigation from the start. Is that characteristic of a judge, or is that even allowed? Is that good conduct from a judge to even come out and say the things that she said on social media?
No, she's not supposed to. She's not supposed to, which is why they're having this issue. Because I always say this: anything you say, post, send, receive can and will be used against you in the court of law. So by her coming out and making that statement, you have essentially violated your judicial code of conduct in making a statement about an active investigation. Mm-hmm. But also now you have added pieces to the puzzle that were missing and now we can utilize. So instead of her doing what lawyers tell their clients to do, she came out and tried to be a lawyer and represent and advocate. And she actually added insult to her own injury. And we gonna make sure she knows that. She should have known better, right? Because it seemed very like a very ill-advised move. She's a judge, right? So if anybody should know the law and no-nos, should be her, right? Especially surrounding a murder case. And for her to make those statements on her social, on social media, to post those statements and stuff, and to go into why they deactivated their pages and deleted stuff and all, and then for her, first of all, you have the right to remain silent. I'm gonna just start right there. She's a judge. I mean, isn't that law 101? You got the right to remain silent. She started sounding the alarm. She started talking foolishly in the beginning, and I was like, dang, this is a judge doing this. This is crazy, So that's why I was eager to find out your opinion on that. I know Judge Carlos Moore out of Mississippi. He been going ham on Facebook. Mm-hmm. And I think he attended the funeral too, because I seen him with Javon. But he was like, that's almost, I don't know if he said almost illegal, but I don't know if he said it was almost illegal or it was illegal what the judge did. Because it was like she interfered in a way with the investigation, her being a judge. Mm-hmm. She's not, so just use the example of Judge Cockroach. Mm-hmm. When he came out, did that interview, now it's a part of the motion for new trial accused. Mm-hmm. You cannot do that. It's a no-no. It's a violation. I wouldn't dare do that at the expense of not only the investigation, but the integrity of the bench that I was voted on, and just the integrity of, and out of compassion for the family. Right. So she's in deep shit, rightfully so. And she deserves every ounce of it. Her, the legacy that she's already left on that bench, she is not new to controversy. She's the reason why a case that was in her court, in family court, a mother was unalived by her children's father because this judge wanted to add an alternate location for the drop-off, but he was dangerous. So the alternate outside of the police station, she got unalived at the alternate. This judge added that. So she has no moral compass or no level of empathy that is very much documented in how she rules in her court. So it doesn't surprise me that she thought she was above the law.
I was going to play a little snippet of, what's his name again? Blackcoon Tatum. He did an interview with Warren, one of the boys that was in the group that went to Horn Island on July 4th with Nolan Wells. Well, Nolan Wells actually was with them. And did you see that interview that Blackcoon Tatum did?
Oh, yeah, I seen parts of it. I'm
talking about Officer Tatum.
I seen parts of it.
Yeah. So I'm going to show a little bit of this interview, and I got some questions about that too. I wanted us to react to Officer Tatum's interview with Warren. Here we go.
All right, Warren, we had a chance to get to know each other over the last week.
Hold on.
I seen it.
I'm going to go to a specific part because we're not going to watch this whole thing. Hold on, let me see. Okay, let's see.
Everybody's drinking, I mean, it's 4th of July. Everyone's just trying to enjoy themselves. And, it's a big party, basically. Big party.
Yeah, so y'all pretty much having a good time. Just like anybody would imagine, 18-year-olds, probably 20-year-olds, college students, out on the island, women, you probably had alcohol. So y'all having a good time.
Yeah. And 50 other people around us. And then it just grew and grew as the day came on. And, that's just how it was. Everybody's drinking, I mean, it's 4th of July. Everyone's just trying to enjoy themselves. And, it's a big party, basically. Big party.
Yeah, so y'all pretty much having a good time. Just like anybody would imagine, 18-year-olds, probably 20-year-olds, college students, out on the island, women, you probably had alcohol. So y'all having a good time.
Yeah, of course.
And so where's Nolan?
That was a little snippet. I'm looking at your face. That was a little snippet of that interview Officer Tatum had with Warren. Initially, he made us believe that he talked to all the boys. But we know by now that Officer Tatum, he's a compulsive liar. He only had Warren there. But I wanted to get your take on what you just heard. Warren admitted that, him and mostly the white boys was drinking, and Officer Tatum just dismissed it as if, it's to be expected. He's an ex-officer. He used to serve supposedly on the force. As a legal expert, how did that touch you just then?
It was the dumbest thing for an individual who is a suspect to go on a podcast and incriminate yourself because you can't fathom that the world is viewing you from a light of, one, you left your friend. That's up top. You are a cat person.
Right.
Off top, your character is not clean. Off
most
top,
definitely.
You can't be trusted.
Off top.
Then you add everything else. You cannot be upset that people are viewing you from the lens of guilty until you prove your innocence. Understand that has been the dynamic for African Americans their entire life, even when doing nothing. But there's a paper trail of consistencies that y'all have created. So don't get mad when the rabbit turned the gun on you, because you have lived this life of, oh, my parents will take care of it. We got connections. Nowhere in there did I hear the amount of sympathy and empathy that the Wells family deserved. Off top, as soon as the interview started, there should have been an overwhelming show of respect, apologies, sincere approach. I didn't see none of that. That's why I don't trust that clear person. That clipper why would your mama, your stepmama who said y'all lawyered up, let you go on his podcast? Oh, because the mama actually reached out to Django. We got proof of that.
Hold on, wait.
No captivity.
You saying that you believe, or not only you believe, you have proof that Ashley Cole, the stepmom of Warren, reached out to Officer Tatum?
Yep, she sure did.
Wow.
Where is it?
Wow.
Because in the photo, so
makes sense to me.
Officer Tatum posted, leftist activists are spreading misinformation about Nolan Wells' autopsy report. They're falsely claiming that an undetermined manner of death forces law enforcement to stop investigating. And she's in the comments, message you, please read.
Wow.
No captivity.
That's why I got my sister here on this show, and that's why she's going to continue to, accompany me. And it makes sense because, you know what I always ask myself? I was like, how did he even get into this position to be in front of Warren? And, out of all the people, it could have been CNN, it could have been NBC, right? It could have been anybody. Hell, Good Morning America has been interviewing some of these kids. Officer Tatum?
Sure have.
It did smell strategic. Go ahead, sis.
But yeah, so just seeing that let me know y'all don't care about being lawyered up. You care about the appearance that the world is viewing you from the lens that is deserved.
Absolutely.
We don't know what happened to Nolan. We don't know why y'all kept his phone. We don't know why y'all didn't plan on giving his phone to his mama. We don't know why it took y'all 15 minutes to grab a phone. We don't know why you all gave Nolan's father so much hell in order to get access to his son's property, and they had to call the police. We don't know these things. And quite frankly, you going on the Django podcast ain't gonna give us nothing that we don't already sense.
The Django podcast is crazy. I just want you.
No captivity.
I always come with the words, huh?
I like it.
I always come with the characters, huh? I place them how they should be.
Hey, as you should. We've already stated you have the right to remain silent. From an expert legal standpoint, was this a good move by Warren agreeing to do this interview with Tatum? I mean, he's been silent all this time, and he was one of the boys that's supposed to have been lawyered up, according to his stepmom or whatnot. What do you think? What kind of move was this for Warren?
It was a horrible move for him. It was a great move for us. So I love when clear people think that they're smart. I love when clear people think that this is the best thing for them to do. I love when they make mistakes.
Yeah.
That helps us figure out what actually happened. So the fact that he thought he was bigger than a program, see, that's what clear people think, that they're bigger than the program. But the program is actually bigger than you, especially when you've done something as such as what we can only purport that happened to Nolan. Somebody knows something. Y'all would not have lawyered up, never spoke to his mom, didn't speak to his dad, gave them a hard time if y'all don't know what happened.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Let me see. Shout out to Carmageddon for the $2 reporting from the chat. Said he just told on himself, laughing my ass off.
No captivity.
Yeah, he basically did. Carmageddon reporting from the chat, $2 again, said and he told on everyone that was with him. Yeah.
No captivity.
And that's exactly what me and my sis are talking about right now. Was it a good move for him to do this interview? He tried to come off as, it was, for one, it seemed staged. It seemed coerced. I read a private text message from someone that spoke up from Ocean Spring, Mississippi yesterday, towards the end of the show. A woman that's friends with the coach that went out, was one of the ones that went out, took his boat out to look for Nolan Wells on July 5th, the morning of July 5th. She is friends with the coach's wife and the coach. She used to work with the coach's wife. She said that Mississippi, especially that area, is the land of coercive control, quote unquote, coercive control. This interview that we just reacted to and that we are reacting to, it seems coerced. It seems arranged.
Yeah.
Right? And it just doesn't seem right. Officer Tatum isn't bright. Like my mom would say, he just isn't that bright. And while he was chasing clout, I don't think he understand what kind of cards he actually gave Ben Crump, the Nolan Wells family, and all of us that have been in support of Nolan Wells, right? And actually getting down to the bottom of who actually murdered Nolan Wells. Let me ask you this, sis. Warren chose to do this interview. We have not heard from Wyatt, Jax, who else? Eric, Morgan. And I know I'm not naming everybody, but those are the ones in the forefront. Warren choosing to do this interview, what does it do? What kind of pressure does it put on his friends, the other white boys that are still choosing to remain silent? Because what I was asking, the question I was asking yesterday, well, if Warren felt like it was okay to do an interview, why don't the other boys come out and talk? You know, it made the other boys look worse. And to me, it seemed like Warren was advised to do this. I don't know if it just so happened that his stepmom is a judge, Ashley Cole. And my spidey senses, if they serve me correctly, I'm not saying I'm right. This is just an assumption. It seems like he might have been advised to do this interview so he can distance himself from some type of future guilt because he might know something. What do you think, sis? What's your take on him doing this interview and leaving the other boys out on the island, per se?
Allegedly, the other boys are afraid to come forward and speak, which is what was alleged by Officer Django. But what I picked up from him, he named names, like you put people in the direct line of an investigation, because especially Wyatt, okay, what you did? What happened? What was it you? Because he named you specifically. And also he also basically put a missile on the police investigation, because telling us it's about 40 of y'all that was within those 3 boats. I don't sound like I got 40 pieces of statements. Don't sound like we got 40 phone dumps. Don't sound like we got 40 GPS trackers. Don't sound like we got any of that. No phones on. So he literally told us that Mississippi ain't doing shit and ain't gonna do shit.
Right. And he gave a lot of crucial information yesterday too. Warren did. If I can just go over a few of that information. One, he said that the waters were very calm. It was only like 3 knots. It wasn't a lot of the water wasn't very rough or wavy. It was very calm. Also, he said close to the island, Horn Island, it was a lot of boats, and they were like right next to one another. And he said these boats was all around the island.
Yeah.
It was a lot of people out there. I think he named between 2,000 to 4,000 people, right? So that raised my antennas, and I'm like, well, how in the hell? There's no way Nolan was not seen. There was no way nobody knows what happened to him. If there were boats all around the island and it was like 2,000 to 4,000 people out there, and the boats was like, he was saying that the boats was like stacked right next to each other. It was hardly any room. That's what Warren said. He also said something else. Oh, he said that he talked to Nolan while he was out there a couple of times. He said Nolan seemed fine. He was fine. Right? So the theories or this narrative that people have been trying to put out there that, oh, Nolan might have, he might have just been drunk out of his mind and on drugs, and, he just might have drowned because of that. No, Warren said he was fine. That's what Warren said.
All it.
I say, do Warren know what he said on this interview? Like, Warren, is you just trying to distance yourself, Warren? Like, are you just trying to clear your name? Because you damn sure didn't help. You damn sure didn't help your case and the rest of them boys' case. You didn't help the people on the opposite side of the coin's case when it comes to this Nolan Wells investigation. You didn't help y'all. You just didn't, man, because you actually gave pertinent information that led us to believe it had to be foul play. It had to be, right? So I just wanted to put that out there, the information that Warren gave. And it was some more stuff. That's just one of the 3 things that stuck out to me. Warren, you dumb as hell for doing the interview. And you dumb for doing it with Tatum, man. For real.
The clear people think that they're bigger than the program.
The clear people and the black and the coons. The clear people and the coons combination is just not a good mix, because they think that they think they're a powerful combination, but you're not. It was a very foolish interview. I looked at the interview. I was looking for this bombshell because Tatum had hyped it up on Twitter, and he really hyped it up. So everybody was like, they're saying part 2. Oh, part 2 is out. Sis, we might have to review part 2 tonight. Oh no, we might have to look at part 2.
Yeah, because
they saying part 2 is shout out to Cookie Leo saying part 2 is horrible.
That cliffhanger was whack. That wasn't even a cliffhanger.
Right, exactly. It was supposed to be a cliffhanger.
Wanna tune in? I'm like,
yeah, I ain't gonna lie. I was like, what information does Tatum have? Like he got some bombshell. I looked at that first interview. I was like,
he had piss. He had piss. That's what he had.
Man, I ain't even gonna say I was disappointed because that's classic Tatum. Shout out to my brother Philosophical Radio for the $5 in the building. Thank you for reporting in the chat, my brother. He said, regardless of what progress seems to be made, these people been doing this for 1,000 years. Shout out to you for having the heart and stand on this. Shout out to Philosophical Radio in the building. Another huge content creator. Shout out to you, bro. Great to see you. Also, shout out to Carmageddon. Again, reporting from the chat, $2 said the Clears, you taking a page out of our sister book. The Clears don't know they messed up. Hard body, LOL.
No captivity.
Adrian Jones, thank you for reporting for the chat. $5 said, what's your email so I can send you what happened? I get visually. What happened? You want to send me what happened? What do you mean you want to send me what? Well, Bonds put. What you say, sis?
It sounds like she's trying to say, send you what happened. I got it visually or something. It sounds like she's trying to send you something that is
well,
visual.
Some clairvoyance type stuff or whatever.
Like it must be T because she did the super chat.
Well, send it to my email, Adrian. Freezy76@gmail.com. Moz, could you please put that in the chat? Thank you, Adrian. Shout out to Alf OJ for the $5 report. Said, what's the GPS history for the other boats that convoyed with them? Where all of them question. I brought that up when they first brought out that GPS information and that the tracking charts or whatever, and they only brought out the tracking information for one boat. I think it was Wyatt's boat. But according to Warren said it was 3 boats and it was about 20 to 30 people all together in the convoy headed to Horn Island. So you're absolutely right, Alf OJ. Where are the GPS information? Where is the GPS history for the rest of the boats? That was an excellent comment. Excellent comment. Shout out to Distinct. Thank you, Distinct. Distinctly. I got to get the names right. Thank you for the $10 report. She said Cajun Navy offered dogs to inspect the boats. Yes, they did. That came out a couple of days ago on shout out to Nancy Grace platform. Cajun Navy offered dogs to inspect the boat. Did you speak on that, sis?
I didn't see that when she said that. I think I heard that yesterday as well.
Yeah.
When Nancy Grace had been going, like he was like, Nancy's on the case. Nancy's on the case. And so that's when I heard. I was like,
well, what do you think about this? Cajun Navy offered their services, right, for their dogs to inspect the boats, but law enforcement declined. They also offered pictures of the body to the family. And we know that Nancy Grace said that she was in possession of those pictures, but out of respect for the family, she wasn't going to show them on her show. Cajun Navy has been offering a lot of support to this investigation, but especially the dogs inspecting the boats, but law enforcement declined.
It's very telling. It's sneaky. It's giving. What did y'all do? What y'all trying to hide? Because in law enforcement, why are you refusing assistance? Because clearly you need some assistance. You ain't even doing what you're supposed to be doing. We the ones out here solving the case for you. We doing your job. You would have left this family for dead if the public did not amplify their voices.
Absolutely.
They're back there pretending to do absolutely fucking nothing. Because it ain't doing something. They ain't doing nothing. So it's very suspicious.
Under normal circumstances, in a homicide investigation, outside sources like the Cajun Navy shouldn't have to offer services. The sheriff department has access to K9s, right? And they could have easily brought their dogs to to these boats and they could have easily got a search warrant, just like Judge Carlos Moore said. They should have been got a search warrant. To go in these boys' houses, to inspect the boat, bring the dogs. Why does the Cajun Navy have to offer their services? And why is the law enforcement declining these services when they should have initially offered these services, these procedures in the beginning, or went through with these procedures? Right?
Those are questions. They're not going to answer.
They ain't going to answer it.
At all. And here's the one thing that I understand about law enforcement. By law, you don't have to allow anyone to assist you when it's not of an emergency situation, like let's say a fire, some just big disaster.
Absolutely.
So I can get why they would say no, because it could be a reason for a defendant to cry foul play in an investigation by letting someone that is not a certified peace officer come in and, do what they do. They would say, oh, this is the fruit of the poisonous tree. So I get I get how they would use that procedure to say no. And I don't think Cajun Navy should have a problem with them saying no, because there's procedure. The fact that they asked and they said no, I don't think that's a big deal, because that's actually procedure, and cases can get thrown out like that, unfortunately. So for them to come out and say that, I don't think it has as much merit as people would want it to hold, because they have to deny that in order to appear to protect the integrity of an investigation.
Right.
Even still covering it up.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Come and get in $2 report said the palm color people always think they slick. Yep.
No captivity.
Yep.
See how we so respectful? We are calling them white folk, them white. We got respectful ways to identify y'all.
That's right. We've been very respectful. I'm sorry. You see, you finna call me the crab geek. I'm finna say the clear geek. That's crazy. Not you, crab geek. We know you black. I had my mind on the clear people. The crab geek reporting in from the chat for $2 said the sheriff doesn't want to solve the case. Period, point blank. The sheriff just doesn't want to solve the case.
No captivity.
Yeah.
That's very clear. I mean,
yep.
The power in having my platform, it affords me the ability to educate on procedure. And that's the one thing Black people have to understand, is we will win and lose based on if we are following procedure. Just by the inception of the appearance of wrongdoing, if that family did not automatically, attach to or hire a civil rights attorney, and people's like, why civil rights? Because their constitutional rights are being violated. If they didn't get an independent autopsy, investigator, protect the phone, require law enforcement to do their job, don't rely on anything from law enforcement, check everything that they do, create your own timeline and investigation, then you leverage. Because if they had not done that, they will be screwed. So the mere fact that that has been the identity of this grieving family, it shows why procedure is important. Those steps are important. We can be angry. We can also protect the integrity of our loved ones by making sure that we follow procedure, because they would never beat us with procedure. They will beat us with emotion. And we are allowed to have those emotions, but they will use that.
Absolutely. Let me see. Okay. So without further ado, Crab Geek, thank you, Crab Geek, for the $5. Crab Geek said, and Nolan's neck organs will be in somebody's library as a trophy. Why were they not included with the other organs? We're going to talk about that, Crab Geek.
I had to turn around.
Right. Yeah, that's
Wait a minute now.
Yeah.
Hold on, child. You could have warned us with that, sis. Next time, knock first.
Let me see. Oh yeah, shout out to, let's see, shout out to Delano. Shout out to you, Delano, for the 400 Jews. Dark and Lovely, thank you for the 350 Jews. And also thank you to Naya Allman for the 400 for your 440 Jews. Thank you, Naya. Sis, I want to go over here to the NAACP and just listen to a little bit. I looked at the whole press conference. I know you did too, but we can look at it a little bit. We're not going to look at the whole press conference. I'm just going to make sure we go straight to the part where Ben Crump is doing the presentation for the autopsy, right? We're going to listen to a little bit of it, but we pretty much know exactly what's going on. And plus, I do have the official documentation to reference. So let me see. Let's go over here. Here we go.
Their findings of the autopsy. We want to especially thank Mr. Colin Kaepernick for not thinking it robbery to pay for the autopsy. Well, is this the first one? Let's go with the first one. And put it right up. So, where's the second page of this one? I need the second page. That's the real one.
Give me Nolan's picture. Give me Nolan's picture.
An autopsy will be provided for the media at press@bencrump.com. And so, Mr. Jones, keep that. I don't need this one. I just need this one here. Pull this closer. So, pull this up here. So, Dr. Roger Mitchell, board certified forensic pathologist, performed a preliminary report on the death of Nolan Xavier Wells. He conducted and presented this report on July 19th, 2026. Preliminary report, second autopsy, death of Nolan Xavier Wells. Cause of death, undetermined, pending investigation. And we'll explain that as we go through the report this morning. The manner of death, undetermined, pending investigation. Statement of examination. This forensic pathologist was retained to perform a second autopsy examination on the body of Nolan Xavier Wells. Name of decedent, Nolan Xavier Wells, age 18 years old, race, Black, gender, male, date of death, unknown. Second autopsy date was performed on July 10th, 2026. Preliminary findings, and this is significant. Focal area of red discoloration in the soft tissue of the back of the head, the occipital region. He said the etiology is unknown at this time. He said the body was received after the initial autopsy.
So right there, that kind of stuck out to me about the red tissue in the back of the head, but the cause of it is unknown, right? Obviously because it's inconclusive, because there's missing parts on the body. What ran through your mind when you when you heard this about the red the red tissue on the back of Nolan Wells' head? Hold on, before you say that, sis. Cutie Pie. Shout out to you, Cutie Pie. Cutie Pie in the building. Cutie Pie, we celebrated you earlier. And let me do this right quick, sis. Hold on. Cutie Pie, I'm gonna need you to go to where you at? Hold on. Cutie Pie, I'm gonna need you to go to the community wall and like your own picture, because we've been celebrating you, Cutie Pie. And apologize about the mishap, but shout out to Cutie Pie. So make sure you guys go to our community wall and make sure you guys like the picture. Cutie Pie is in the building. Cutie Pie, you are the sponsor of tonight's show. And even if somebody matches your $100, your name is going to stay on the sponsorship, Cutie Pie. And we're going to celebrate you right along with whoever matches the $100 or exceeds the $100. Shout out to Cutie Pie in the building.
No captivity.
Sorry, sis. I had to do that, sis. I had to do that.
Yeah. I did. Yeah, you had to.
Yeah, I had to do that. But yeah, back to the question I asked you. What ran through your mind just off top as far as the red tissue that they found on the back of Nolan Wells' head, but the examiner said it was inconclusive. He really couldn't tell at that moment what caused it, right? Obviously, because it's too many missing parts on Nolan Wells' body.
So what essentially is going on here is what I perceived when you have that kind of marking, that, in my opinion, shows that there was force before his death, because bruising don't come after death, it comes before. Mm-hmm. So once you get that kind of indication based off of the color as well as the tissue, that gives something happened that required his body to respond based on the force received that resulted in that discoloration. That didn't happen after. You see, once we dead, there's no more bruising.
Right.
That didn't happen after.
Let's listen to a little bit more. Here we go.
He said the body had marked decompensation.
That word.
He said corona incision of the scalp, brain removal, Y-shaped incision of the anterior torso, and he talked about the organs being removed, as is common, accompanied in the body cavity.
You've had to encounter autopsies with your cases, right? When he said the organs being removed is common, mm-hmm. What parts of the body is he talking about that's common when it comes to the organs being removed?
Your guts area, like your
In your stomach area for the people in the back.
Area. It can also include your heart, you know, things like that. So those are common. However, not so common when they know that there's another autopsy that is being performed and they've been notified of. So that to me showed their intentionality of what they perceived they were going to be able to do. Because see, what people don't understand that when you are used to covering up and fucking up, you are operating business as usual. But when the family made that announcement, I believe it was on that Tuesday, that they were getting a second autopsy right away, that changes the plan. And now you have operated as business as usual, and that's not really business as usual.
Right.
So you gotta scrape and figure out like how you gonna scheme and scam and do what y'all been doing. But the buck stopped when y'all got that call letting you know that the body was being released to go and get a second autopsy. Now you're fucked.
The throat isn't a part of... I've never heard of the throat, like people withholding the throat, the inside of the throat. What organs? What is that?
Well, that's usually the areas that they withheld are areas that would confirm any force, any damage in a particular area. It would also confirm why that discoloration was in the back, as well as the lungs. See, if you were not concerned about a drowning as much as you said, or no foul play, then you would have operated as business as usual. You wouldn't have kept the lungs and the part of the neck that could have been investigated further. If you so say, like the sheriff said, there was no foul play or no indication, how the fuck if there was no indication when this baby had that discoloration on the back of his damn neck?
Right.
How can you make that conclusion, sir? You can't.
Well, the medical examiner, the independent medical examiner said he couldn't rule out foul play. How could the sheriff, who's not a medical professional, rule out foul play? I'm talking about, how soon was it, sis? What, a day, 24 hours?
Soon as
Less than 24 hours.
Soon as they got the body out the water.
That's crazy to me.
And see, mind you, that body they had that body before they notified the family at 8 a.m. They had that body before.
They had the body before they notified the family at 8 a.m. I don't think a lot of regular folk really thought about that. Well, it's your job. See, that's why I got my sister up here, because it's your job to think about that. If they try to frame me, sis, I need you to represent me, okay? Because I feel like they're coming for me.
You know, they coming for us.
They coming for... They had the body before they notified the family at 8 a.m.
Yeah.
That is important. Why did you point that out? That's important.
Because here's the thing about when individuals are presumed as a drowning victim and they're coming out of water, usually they have collected their body hours before. And what they do after is supposed to be notifying the family, not for hours later, but allegedly his body was found at, allegedly his body was dumped around 1 a.m. And his body was found or discovered around 3 a.m., right, 3:30. Then that's when they notified the family around 8 something in the morning. Why they waited so long is beyond me. But his body was discovered hours prior to the family being notified.
Shout out to the public opinion court in the building. On the case. Let's look at some more of this right here. And we're going to read some more super caps in 1 second. And cash caps. Here we go.
And that when you have an autopsy, the organs are removed from the body and they're dissected and examined. And then they're put back in a bag inside the body. So when they're buried, their remains will all be with them. But in this occasion, if there's going to be a second autopsy, then the organs are put in the body cavity. So the second pathologist could be able to examine the organs as well. Very significant for Dr. Mitchell was that the anterior inner neck structures were absent, not.
Man, I'm so tired of these people, man. The interior. Hold on, man. He ain't just say that. He ain't just say that.
Mitchell was that the anterior inner neck structures were absent.
Okay, the interior inner neck structures were absent. The liver is missing.
Yeah.
How do we know if he was poisoned or not? How do we know he didn't choke? Right? The interior inner neck structures are missing, but there's a red tissue in the back there's red abrasions on the back of his neck. But the interior inner neck, man, could y'all stop playing with us, please? I mean, I'm just so tired. I'm tired, and they only do us like this. I'm sorry, sis. I just had to go on a rant. I'm sorry. Let me just keep going, because you ain't got to say nothing. Let me just keep going. Let's get through this.
Not received with the body. And we'll explain that in just a minute. And then it talks about the additional procedures performed during the second autopsy. And we'll go into the paragraphs on that there, because he explains it better in his narrative. So where's the first page of the discussion? Not the diagram yet. You can keep the diagram over there. Move this back, Lisa. So he talks in the preliminary discussion opinion. This forensic pathologist identified several limitations during the second autopsy that create barriers to establishing a definitive cause and manner of death for Nolan Xavier Wells. And that's important. He talks about the fact that we didn't get to see the body when it was first recovered, like the medical examiner working for Mississippi would have seen it. He talked about the second autopsy performed on Nolan Wells revealed marked decompensation or changes. Marked decompensation can obscure the presence and absence of bruise.
Okay, this is very important. We're not going to watch two more after this, but this is very important what he's about to say.
Bruising on the skin surface, especially during a second autopsy examination. What he's saying, because the body was so decomposed that you couldn't tell if there was bruises or abrasions on the body when he received it on the 10th of July.
The body was so decomposed Is that coming from the independent medical examiner, or so by the time the independent medical examiner got the body, he said the body was so decomposed, you really can't tell if there are in detail like bruises or whatever on the body because the body is so decomposed.
Mm-hmm. That's so, I don't think people understand that what happened to Nolan, that baby died in fear of his life, a fear that he never experienced and should have never experienced. He died seeing who killed him and who's responsible. And it's somebody that he thought was a friend, someone that he could trust, and they took him out. I wholeheartedly believe that after the parents retrieved the phone and then the father retrieved the keys, he was still somewhere in that vicinity because y'all did not leave Nolan and have his phone. Y'all left with Nolan, who had his phone.
Exactly.
So to try to play that game is the wrong game. You don't want to play that game with us, but you're playing it. So now we're serving you back. Nolan did not leave and his phone was with them. He left and his phone was with him. So from when his father got his phone, because like I said, I don't anticipate that they knew the mother had tracking on her son. When they realized, oops, gig is up, the panic, the fear, oh my God, my whole life. No, his whole life. Now y'all are scrambling and trying to muddy the waters, but see, we got to amplifying it faster than y'all could anticipate. There was no more you all trying to cover it up because now we see y'all make postings on Wyatt, of all people, reshared his mom's post about Nolan, but you ain't give a damn about giving over that phone. Eric reshared a post of Nolan saying, "See you soon," after he went missing. When I tell you that was the most sick shit that anybody could do is play with this woman and her husband and her his siblings and his family, then y'all want to deactivate. No, the gig is fucking up.
It's up. Shout out to, let's see, Alf OJ again. He said the sheriff has to get governor permission to solve this. The sheriff has to get the governor's permission to solve this. I think what Alf OJ is saying, the collusion goes high up in the rankings. Shout out to you, Alf OJ. Appreciate that.
Agree.
Yeah. Tammy Boyd, $5 report. Let me bring this down a little bit. $5. Thank you, Tammy. She said, I've been trying to contact Attorney Anderson. I've been trying to contact Attorney Anderson, Freezy. I just sent you an email. Please forward to Attorney Anderson. I need to connect with her. I will make sure I forward your email to our sister, Miss Anderson, okay, the Public Opinion Court. And thank you, Tammy. Appreciate you. Also, shout out to Adrian, $2 report, said he had man juice there, unfortunately, allegedly. Man juice. What's man juice? What's man juice, Adrian? You might have to clarify that.
Yeah, we hip, but we ain't that hip now.
Man, you sound a little crazy though. I just want to say that. Pause.
This one here for the thug.
Clear that up.
Right. Please clear that up. FOJ for the $5 report. FOJ said, Governor of Mississippi stated he knows Sheriff very well and believes there's no foul play, although he hasn't seen any evidence. Ledbetter gets ordered. Thank you for that, FOJ. So yeah, this corruption is coming from high up, man. How in the hell the governor? And I did play what the governor of Mississippi said. I played his him speaking at his little so-called press conference or whatever and saying he didn't believe it was foul play and all that kind of stuff and repeating that BS. Right, exactly, FOJ, even though he's, he doesn't have any medical, expertise or whatever. And I just think that's very, I think that's very foolish for him to actually make that statement, especially being an elected official. Why would you make a statement like that that could be so detrimental to this investigation with your influence, right? A governor saying something like that is crazy to me. What do you think, sis?
That's why it pisses me off when Democratic governors or officials sit back on the sideline and play these all soft-ass games and don't want to come out and put belt to ass on the reality of what it looks like to be African-American and having to deal with these on both sides of the aisle, because MAGA clear pedophiles are going to come out and say exactly what they want to say.
Yes.
So hearing that is not a surprise. That's why when I tell anybody, when I went into being a prosecutor, I was naive because I'm like, this, yeah, I'm going to seek justice.
Right.
When I started seeing the political, the money, the favors, the proximity.
You witnessed this stuff.
Yes. That's the reason why I wrote about, that's the reason I titled Shut Up and Prosecute, because that's what they want you to do when it's money. Shut up and prosecute. We don't care about the bottom line. Shut up and prosecute. So that's the landscape of the legal system. It goes far beyond the way money influenced the justice system. We know that firsthand by the prison system. If you don't know that money influenced the criminal justice system, then you are blind to why they continue to create and build prisons.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And it's sad, man. It's sad. And this is why the relationship that I have with you, I do deem it very valuable, because I mean, I've had my bouts with the law, but on the other side, but I changed my life, sis. I changed my life.
Listen, ain't no judgment here, because equal opportunity over here. I've seen every aspect of the criminal justice system. And I'm like,
but you've been through those doors though, where they're wearing the suits and stuff, and so your point of view is very valuable to commentating on anything dealing with the Black community when it comes to injustice, right? Nobody that I see visibly that's present on this live stream, I don't know who's watching from the clouds, has your expertise. So I just wanted to just say I appreciate you, sis. I really do. I really do appreciate you. Shout out to Keisha One Up, $5 report from the chat said, are they not required to take crime scene photos? Wow.
If they don't,
go ahead, sis.
If they don't, that's their ass. That's how a defendant can get off. So they are required. So a crime scene they're required to cross every T and dot every I. Mm-hmm. They're required to tape it off because of the ability for contamination. Mm-hmm. They want to keep a scene that is contaminated just by the location of it. So you want to rope it off enough to where you can go to different areas and see if you can collect evidence. You have to take pictures, and I mean pictures of, they should have pictures of Nolan from every angle. Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, I know his parents had to see their baby in that condition.
Sad, man.
In that condition, and to hear how the body was transported, they didn't give a damn how his body.
So they've seen photos. You think they've seen their son already?
They should have.
Because I know initially.
I know the Cajun Navy have photos.
Yeah, Cajun Navy have photo, but I know in the beginning, initially when they found his body, I don't know if the family was able to see the body, but I do know that the only way they identified that it was him, was that they had to take his dental. I do know that. But if I can remember, I don't think the family initially was able to see the body in the beginning. Now, if they've seen it since then, I'm pretty sure they have, because I'm leaning towards what you're saying. But I think in the beginning, they wasn't able to see the body because it was so unidentifiable. You know, they had to take dental work and everything. So
water is not going to do that in the amount of time that his body was in that water. It's not going to do that. It takes at minimum 4 to 5 days for a body to start decomposing.
Yeah.
Now, depending on the condition, it will accelerate, but this is within 24 hours of them unaliving him. That body was not in that water the whole 24 hours. That's unless they took that body on July the 5th, mm-hmm. after his parents started doing what parents are supposed to do. That would have given it about 27-ish hours in that water. But that's still not enough time for that body to decompose.
Absolutely
what it
not.
Sounds like is that they were attempting to try to discard and utilize solutions that would accelerate the decomposition of that body instead of that body decomposing on its own. And when you have access to medical examiners and things like that, they know how to accelerate. So everybody goddamn phone needs to be taken.
That's a fact. To conclude, Keisha one up, she said, also, is the medical examiner not required to take photos of the bodies once received? I would imagine they would have to take photos to keep record.
Everything. We call it a chain of custody. Yeah.
Yeah. And shout out to the House of Hypocrites in the building. What's going on, House? Great to see you, bro. Shout out to the House of Hypocrites. Sis, would you mind looking at Officer Tatum's? He just gets on my nerve, but Tatum just dropped part 2 of his so-called interview with Warren, and apparently he actually took a trip out to Horn Island with Warren, and they're supposed to be talking about that. Horn Island. Would you mind looking at it? I think it's only 13 minutes long.
Django.
Shout out to Erica Hayden. $2 report from the chat said, Black people's body don't decompose as fast. Black people's body do. That is a great comment.
No captivity.
Yes, they acting like he was one of them clear folk. What?
Yeah.
That was a great comment. Black people's body don't decompose as fast. Might as well finish the sentence.
that Black people are just immune to. That's why they don't like us.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sick of these clear feet people.
Yeah.
Like,
you and I both. Here we go. Let's see. Officer Django on deck, y'all. We're gonna read some more super chats in 1 second.
Some of the boys that they're
hold on. Oh, before we do that, I wanted to do this. I wanted to do this too. So to conclude the autopsy press conference, right? Benjamin Crump also stated that the medical examiner said it was still unclear whether Nolan was paramortal or postmortal, whether he died before, whether whatever happened to him actually was the cause of his death, or did it happen to him after his death, right? I think it's stated postmortal versus paramortal. I think that's the correct terminology, right? And these questions right here, it says, with the following questions still outstanding. 1, what were the circumstances that led to Nolan Xavier Wells entering the water? 2, what was the body position when found? 3, was there water in the airway? 4, is there any evidence of injuries to the anterior neck structures? 5, is there any evidence of intracranial? Is there any evidence of intracranial hemorrhage, subdural or subarachnoid? I don't know how to pronounce that. 6, what was the composition of the stomach contents? 7, what are the toxicology report findings? Toxicology report findings should be very important in this case, right, sis?
It's very important because it tells you what, if there were any controlled substances, if the alcohol contents, any contents that are linked into the blood system also. So toxicology tells you all of that, which is why it's unfortunate that they were delaying it, because they had toxicology actually will come back really fast.
Absolutely. Okay, so let's look at your boy, Mr. Blackcoon himself, Brandon Tatum, for his part 2 interview with Warren. And apparently they actually took a visit to Horn Island. Let's see what came out of this so-called bombshell interview. Here we go.
Some of the boys that they're accusing wasn't even on the boat that Nolan was on.
If I'm sitting waist deep in water and all my friends are, everybody's leaving their phone on a boat. I open the back hatch and there's water up to the batteries. And that is obviously not good. Nolan decided to stay on the island with the girl that he was with. And the girl is a witness to that too.
Yeah. We're in Mississippi right now. We're getting ready to.
How in the hell the girl is a witness to that when the girl said that Nolan said he was going back with y'all?
Man, it's giving Katie, did your daddy do it or something?
I'm saying because Katie came out, I'm talking about she went to cooperating. They said she was cooperating in the beginning, and she came out initially without wasting any time saying that, no, Nolan said he was going back with the boys. Yeah. This is what we're talking about.
The exact.
What'd you say, sis?
Everybody suspects.
Everybody's suspect at this point. That's why people should have been arrested, correct?
Act path that the boys took, also with Nolan Wells, from where they docked the boat at, all the way out to Horn Island and back. The boys are going to explain to me exactly what went on, how many people were there.
Thank y'all for the jewels. We're going to call out the jewels in a little bit too as well.
How many boats were taken out, which I think the world is going to be completely dumbfounded when they realize what the truth really is, because the lies have been pervasive. So we're right here where Nolan left on the boat, and you'll find out how many people were there, how many boats. And then we're going to take that same path out. I'm going to go look at Horn Island and see exactly where they could have been to get a perspective that the media don't even care to try to do. And then we're going to take the trek back, and we're going to find out exactly.
If you haven't hit the like button, make sure you hit the like button. The like button is right below the video, right next to the share button. Shout out to the 681 people that hit the like button. Let's get this up in the algorithm so we can get more awareness. Justice for Nolan Wells.
What happened to Nolan? This is the reason why I'm here, man. I want you guys to have a voice. I want you guys to be able to speak out and show what the truth really is, and then let the world decide. I just don't want you guys to end up in a situation where your story never gets heard. Right here is where Nolan and probably 20 other kids got on the boat. So it's not just Nolan and 3 other kids. That was a lie. That was a myth. I'm going to prove that. Right here is where...
Bro, you're not telling us anything new. We've been knew it was like 3 boats. What is he talking
kids
about?
were docking, and we're going to show you a video that coincided. I'm going to walk at the exact angle that the video is being broadcast from, so you know that I'm exactly where I say I am. But the boys were here. Tons of people you'll see on the video is getting onto the boat, and they took 3 boats out. It wasn't just one. It wasn't just Nolan and 4 boys. It was a multitude of people on several different boats. And some of the boys that they're accusing wasn't even on the boat that Nolan was on. But let me show you from the vantage point where I have the video to prove that I'm here where I say I am.
Okay, right there, it looked like it was some surveillance right there from the dock. So why haven't we seen surveillance from the sheriff? Okay, so they're proving that there are cameras right there. So why haven't we seen surveillance from 4th of July from Sheriff Department? I'm just dumbfounded.
Some of the boys that they're accusing wasn't even on the boat that Nolan was on. But let me show you from the vantage point where I have the video to prove that I'm here where I say I am. And so right now, here's the angle that you're going to see on the footage. It's just from probably that boat to, maybe about 30, 40 feet here to the right. And this is where the video is showing how many people were actually out there, actually getting on the boats. So therefore, it debunks very clearly that it was only Nolan and 4 boys.
Bitch, we already know it.
I said that.
Oh, my God. Man, this man get on my damn nerves. I'm sorry, I'm finna get ghetto.
Why we both say, fuck it?
This man, this man is so annoying. Man.
Going out here to Horn Island.
But one thing I do like is we know they have surveillance footage on the dock. You showing the wrong thing. We want to hear from the sheriff department. Did you get the surveillance footage? Do you have this included in the investigation? It is going to a grand jury. Will the grand jury get this stuff? That's what I want to know. We're going to talk about the grand jury too, sis.
Your mom out there.
All right, you guys, sorry about the sunglasses. It's very bright out here, and I never wear sunglasses, but
what?
We're at Horn Island, and almost the exact same position where the boys were, where Nolan was. So if you look out right here, just so you guys can get a perspective, you have the Horn Island here. But I want you guys to put this in your mind, what this was like on that day. You have boats 2, 3, 4 deep from way down there where you can see all the way through here. You have thousands of people on this island, probably 2,000 people. So this wasn't some abandoned, secluded island where nobody's at. Obviously, this is a Monday, and there's a few people on the backside of the island, not a lot of people here. But on 4th of July, this is a celebration. And so this wasn't a small place where 4 boys took their black friend and dropped him off and never seen him again. This place was flooded with people. Tons of people, multiple boats, multiple friend groups, I mean, everybody's here having a good time. And then the boat gets towed out because it was getting ready to sink. And so, and from what I was told, they told Nolan, get on the boat, man. Get on the boat. Get on the freaking boat.
From what you was told. From what you was told.
And he decided, because he's an adult, that he was going to stay behind. And all the boys that they've been accusing, and they saying it had something to do with his death, they were all gone at 4:30. They were all gone. And they told Nolan to get on the boat. He didn't. And then there was a report of somebody seeing Nolan around 6:30-ish. And so for them to come out and claim these lies.
So, sis, yesterday when we looked at part 1, I'm really just thinking about this. Warren said that Nolan didn't get on the boat with him in particular. He got on the boat with with Wyatt. Warren and Nolan was not on the same boat. So it was several boats that actually convoyed. How can Warren tell us definitively if Nolan was on one of them boats dead or what? How would he know that? Like if they didn't ride together.
And also, he's not going to ask him about the discrepancies in the GPS tracking as to why y'all was going this place, that place. What was y'all doing?
It seems like all of this is coming from Warren's point of view, and they're using Django Tatum to push this out. Here we go.
Won't take the time to come to Horn Island. Won't take the trip out here to figure out what happened. Won't talk to anybody. Pushing an agenda is wrong. And that's the reason why I came out here. I wanted to see for myself, what did this look like? What could have happened? You know, does the stories line up based on what I've seen and what I've heard from people that live here that were involved in this situation? This is where the lie started. People were putting out on social media, knowing that they're lying, that this is what it was like on a day that Nolan and his friends.
Nobody said, sis, did you hear that? Did you hear anybody on social media say nobody else was out there but Nolan and 3 white boys? Have you ever heard that?
I didn't hear it. I didn't see it. The videos are very fucking clear. That's the what we saw.
This is his big bombshell. This is his bombshell, sis.
His big bomb fell.
You used to be a rapper, didn't you? I like that. I like that right there. Here we go.
The Horn Island. And if it was 4 or 5 people and they came out here and Nolan was with them and maybe it was a few people out here like it is today and Nolan came up missing, then maybe it would be suspicious. But they didn't take the time to give context to the people because they're evil and they're liars. So if it was
Does he not know it's way more suspicious when there was a lot of, being that we know there was a lot of people out there, Django, that makes it even worse that nobody's seen him. Nobody can report on him. Nobody, it makes it worse that it's a mystery. I don't think he understands it. I don't think he had windows in his classroom when he was younger.
And the bus was like this.
The bus was it was probably like this, It was
probably only him and the bus driver and the attendant.
And they treated them kids really special. Them kids used to get orange juice and donuts.
Yeah.
I used to get mad at them damn special kids. I wanted some orange. Yeah, shit.
Right now, when the situation happened, I can see how people had a concern. But you got to replay this moment with thousands of people here. If anything would have happened directly involving Nolan and his friends, you can't tell me that thousands of people wouldn't have seen anything happen. And so that's pretty much why I wanted to come here and show you guys. This is what they want you to believe it was like on that day, which is a lie. They want you to believe they came to a secluded island, just 4 of them, and then Nolan is left behind.
How many times
and then his body washed up on shore, and nobody knows.
It's just a blatant lie, and he's going to keep repeating this because obviously he ain't got nothing else, right?
Jesus.
He's just going to keep repeating that one thing like it's exclusive. Bro, nobody said that.
Trying to correct his ass.
Right.
What happened? Nobody could have seen what happened but the boys. It's a flat out lie. Is there anything that you want to say, you want people to know about this whole experience?
Yeah, I mean, from someone, if someone's not from here, it's kind of hard to understand, you know, where the island drops off and how the island works. But, you know, there's plenty of people out here, especially on the 4th of July, you know, this is where people come out to celebrate. And I mean, if you fill the water, you can see right here, Brandon, where it drops off. I mean, you can see literally where it drops off. So, I mean, it goes from about waist deep water right there to neck deep. And then it drops from neck deep all the way to like 17, 20 foot. I mean, we weren't even a quarter mile out the island. And when we were leaving, and I mean, it was 30 foot of water.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if we're walking towards the east right now, but if you walk down to the west, that's where the west tip of the island is. And that's where the current picks up very, very bad.
People talk about the phone situation. I want to, because the way you articulate it, I just walk in the water with my pants on, they're wet. And you can tell right away that if you're hanging out in the water, it doesn't appear, in my opinion, that you would have your phone on you. Is that typical for people to have their phones or?
No, I mean, people come.
Yeah, because the pictures that I seen, even though I think a lot of that stuff was AI, man, people had their phone out.
Mm-hmm.
People had their phone out.
The video the audio you enhanced.
Right, exactly.
No captivity.
Exactly. And it seems like Django Tatum is leading, it seems like he's leading Warren, like this whole interview, you know.
No.
And he's giving him direct eye contact, like, you better answer like this, answer like that.
Out here, especially on the 4th and, you know, Memorial Day, like, you know, days like that, they come out here to celebrate and people get on the water to be off their phones, first off. Second off, if I'm sitting waist deep in water and all my friends are, everybody's leaving their phone on a boat, in a lake, you know, if you're sitting on a pond, if no one's getting out of the water with their phone in their hand, unless, you know, it's to take a quick picture. But most of the pictures taken on the 4th of July were on the boat.
Yeah.
I mean, and, you know, salt water, if you drop your phone in salt water, most of the time you're not going to get it back. Yeah. I mean, you know, especially the water's murky right now because there's been a lot of rain. You can't see, the visibility isn't good. The water isn't clear like it was last year around this time. And, you know, like no one has their phone though, usually. I mean, unless you're crazy, I'm not walking around with my phone.
Right. But you said that he stayed with Katie. You said that he told y'all. This is what they said. This is what the white boy said. That they communicated with Nolan and Nolan told them, hey, I'm separating myself and I'm going with the girl. So if that's the case, why, if y'all had a formal departure between one another, why wouldn't he take his phone and his car keys? Okay, they're trying to explain this shit away, but this why Warren shouldn't have done this shit with Django Tatum. He shouldn't have did it.
He was in his right, perfectly fine. If he was perfectly fine, he wouldn't have perfectly fine and left his phone.
Right. Do he know? Can the grand jury use this? Can they use this video too?
Oh yeah. Well, no. The grand jury don't use nothing but what's on paper.
Okay, what the district attorney gives them?
Yeah.
Okay. Cause this is crazy.
My hand, they've been walking around Horn Island, you know.
How many people left the phone on the boat? Was it just his phone when y'all left, or other people have phones on the boat?
Absolutely not. Like there was at least, well, I rode out here on a different boat, like I told you, and I grabbed my phone when I left the Palm Beach to get on the boat with Triton. To get on the boat with Wyatt because we were having, boat issues. And when I got on the boat, there was phones everywhere on the console, I mean, everywhere. Like, I mean, there was everybody's phone that was sitting around the boat was on the console. Like, we had phones that we didn't even know whose they were, you know, and people just leave their phone, especially when people are drinking and, you know, they're not in the right state of mind. A lot of people are like, oh, I'll just leave my phone and I'll get it later, you know? And that's the way it is around here. You know, you don't take your phone and walk around the island. You know, there's plenty of phones on the boat and, you know, spread out between the 3 boats that we had. And
this man so that if this white boy want me to believe, first of all, let me tell y'all something, man. I stay in Florida. I grew up in Florida. We used to go to Daytona Beach at the end of every school year. We used to go to Miami. Man, I wouldn't give a damn. Listen, we walking around without we walking around with our phones. We getting off the we can get on the boat, get off the boat. Guess what? It's girls on the shore. It's girls on the shore. I need my damn phone. You know what I'm saying? Like, if it's girls on the shore, I need my phone so I can go ahead and get this number. You know, that when I was out there. I'm just saying. He want us to believe nobody walking around on shore with their phone. Nobody trying to mac. Nobody trying to get to know nobody. Nobody taking nobody's number. Ain't nobody, it's a rule. It's like they want us to believe it's a rule. If you get off the boat and you go on shore and you walk on the beach, you can't have your phone. That's just an unwritten rule. Nobody got their phone on the beach.
But they standing up in the damn water.
I wonder if they got their phones with them right now.
No cap.
Right now, as they're talking right now. They damn sure got some camera equipment out there, don't they, sis? They damn sure got some camera. I wonder what's looking at them right now. Got to be a camera, got to be electronic device.
They got mics on.
They got Michael, they got a whole bunch of electronics on. Man, these people stupid, sis. When I tell you these people get on my damn nerves.
Cause they think the clear people and the Django's are dumb. Like they think they bigger than the program. They think they smarter than the program. Y'all still ain't finished the goddamn program.
That's a fact. You shouldn't have did this interview. This is so bad. This is
that mama walked him into this fucking disaster. That's what I be saying.
This is so bad.
Tell y'all that these lawyers and these judges don't know how to handle PR. They think they know how to get in front of a fucking camera or get in front of a story. They are only one fucking dimensional. Like, you cannot outschool the public on the reality of what happened. This is not a court case. You can't show us what you want us to believe. You can do that in a court of law because of the rules and shit. Ain't no fucking rules in the real world.
I mean, we had 20 plus people on the spread between our 3 boats. So of course, everybody's phone was on the boat. I never saw someone in the water that day sitting with their phone in their hand, scrolling on anything or even taking pictures in the water. Yeah, someone might hop out the boat.
That man just told a bold-faced lie.
Bro, don't make me go back to these goddamn videos.
A bold-faced lie he told just then.
You know, a lot of girls like to take pictures, you know, in the water. And so do guys, but, you know, girls want to take pictures in the water. Half a second, you might hop out the boat and be like, oh, I'm snapping this picture of myself or of someone else. But as soon as I get back in the boat, I'm putting my phone up and I'm getting back in the water and I'm hanging out with my friends.
Yeah, that's common sense, man. And describe to me what the day was like. I saw a video online. How hectic was it out here? I mean, right now it's barren. There's not a lot of people out here, but clearly that's not what.
So the only time you can take a picture, this seems to be a scenic area. The only time Everybody take pictures is on the boat. It's just unheard of for me to just get in shallow water that come to my waist, right? That's a no-no to get in shallow water with my phone and not clip it up and take pictures. He said, yeah, the only reason why somebody would get in the water is to take pictures. Guess what? They're not going to just get in the water, take pictures, and then get back on the boat. No, they chilling out in the water. And then they might walk on the shore. They might walk on the beach. They're trying to make this sound so robotic. You know.
This scheme that the clear people set up to try to fool us with the lies.
It was on the 4th of July, so like how?
Sis, I ain't gonna kill you with it too much longer. This we got by.
Listen, I'm good. It's literally contradicting every fucking thing. So.
Yeah, this was bad. We're gonna read super caps in 1 second. We're gonna read some super cash caps in 1 second.
How dense was it with people here?
Well, I mean, you look at all the videos, that are spread out online, and a lot of them, you can't believe what you see all the time online. You know that better than anybody. But I mean, there was boats lined up all the way down the island, and there was rows. There was a first row, there's a second row. We were in the third row where it drops off, and then there was even boats in front of us. And this went all the way down towards the east end of the island. And then there was people on the east tip, and we're on the north side now, but there was people on the south side too, lined up all the way down. And if you talk to anybody on the coast about this, they know that. Yeah. I mean, 4th of July, this is the hot spot. This is where people want to be. This is where people want to come out, hang out with their family and friends. And
people say that you guys just left Nolan behind. I've seen reports of people saying that you just left him. I see reports of people saying that you asked him to get on the boat. You told him to get on the boat. He didn't. What's the truth in that?
Well, Wyatt was having boat issues and the bilge wouldn't pump. So the bilge is basically a pump that releases water from your boat when water comes in. So I opened the back hatch and there's water up to the batteries. And that is obviously not good. There's water almost coming over the transom, which is where your motors sit and which is by the stern, like in the back part of the boat. So obviously we were in emergency. The boat, we're trying to save the boat. It's not like we didn't ask Nolan or we just left Nolan.
Did anybody notice that cut just then? That was an edit. Did anybody notice the cut just then? That was an edit.
We're trying to save the boat. It's
right
not
there. Like for some reason they edited the video and it cut to right there.
We're in emergency. The boat, we're trying to save the boat.
Boom.
It's not like
Did you see the cut?
Yeah.
So see, I don't know why they cut just right then because he was in the flow of a speech. I don't know if they cut it so he could get coached some more because he's going into details about the boat and then they just cut.
Asked Nolan or we just left Nolan. Nolan decided to stay on the island with the girl that he was with. And the girl is a witness to that too.
Yeah. I'm glad.
How in the hell the girl is a witness to that when she herself said he didn't? I would see if we didn't have a statement from Katie saying that, oh yeah, he stayed. He went back. Nolan told me he was going back with his friends. I would see if we didn't have a statement with the girl saying that. The girl said that Nolan told her that he was going back with his friend, and Nolan did not stay with her. So why would Warren still push this? And if Warren is telling the truth, Katie, we need you to step to the front of the congregation.
But Freezy, can we acknowledge that the mama said that his boat was in distress, not Wyatt's boat was in distress?
No captivity.
Man, listen, man. See, I got to revisit this stuff because it's so many moving parts. This is crazy.
You cleared that up because I think it's important for people to have the context of like what it was on that day, what happened, what didn't happen. And the the beauty of all of this is that you guys have evidence to prove that, of course, you asked Nolan to come on and different things like that. So
what the evidence said? They got evidence?
They got evidence to commit crimes and not getting arrested.
I'm just saying, like, if they got evidence of that, they should have been showed that, right? I'm saying, if they got evidence, sis, okay. Let me ask you this, sis, because this is very pivotal. Evidence is a strong word, right?
Yeah.
In an investigation.
I think I know where you're going.
If they got evidence and the sheriff department has been conducting this investigation, major media outlets have been so-called throwing out, these video footages and all that kind of stuff. If they got hardcore evidence that Nolan told him that he was not going to stay with them, he was going to be with the girl, and that was it, why haven't we seen that yet? If not from them, they're lawyered up. Also, the sheriff department, sis, I'm just saying.
Anything you say, post, stand, report, or interview can and will be used against you in the court of law, or the public opinion, or the public, or on the platforms. Yeah. Liar, pants on fire.
Evidence.
That's a strong word. That's a strong word.
Well, what's taking so long then with this evidence? Because that's crucial. That would be evident. Listen, if they do have evidence, that would make their side stronger. Mm-hmm. Like if I had that evidence and millions of people are looking at me as a potential murderer, I would not hesitate giving this evidence to the police department or even putting it out myself. If I got evidence, I wouldn't delete. If Nolan was my best friend and I had evidence, they done said everything from Nolan was their best friend. I think Jack said, man, he was like a brother to me when the father went over to retrieve the keys. So if this is true, if Nolan was my best friend and was like a brother to me, you think the first thing I'm gonna think about doing is deactivating my social media and lawyering up? No, if I care about Nolan and I got hardcore evidence that he said that he actually left us, not just said, but he left us and went with another girl, I'm going to show that on my social media. I'm going instead of me deactivating my social media 2 weeks ago, I'm going to show that on my social media. That's what I'm going to show. That just don't make no sense to me.
But anyway, man, I appreciate you.
Yes, sir.
Giving me a rundown of kind of what it was like on that day.
Right.
And hopefully people can understand what the truth.
Man, Tatum's so damn dumb. Django Tatum is dumb as hell as a box of rocks. Let me see. Let's see. Shout out. Shout out to everybody that's been sending jewels as well. And we're going to read all the reports from the chat. Sis, before we do that, what's your synopsis of what we just seen? Did you hear any bombshell information? Did you hear anything that turned the tides in your mind when it came to this investigation?
I think for the most part, it just let me know that the sheriffs are a piece of shit and full of shit and ain't doing shit and ain't gonna try to do shit and think they're gonna get away with the shit. Yeah. So the smoke I have is for the goddamn sheriff department, because
me too.
Anyway, we laid out all this information that y'all received.
Yes.
And this is also information that they are supposed to communicate with the family.
Absolutely.
So my smoke is with Ledbetter, because why in the hell ain't no goddamn way that he's supposed to be going swerving on that goddamn boat, the same boat that he was drinking while boating. Ain't no damn way he ain't supposed to. then he would, if he told him that he did it, and if the sheriffs didn't know, what else do you think they're not telling your dumb ass? So my smoke is for the clear better, not lead, but the clear better. Get your ass in that investigation and do your goddamn job.
You heard that, clear better? Let me see. Apple, New York, thank you for your 250 jewels. Appreciate you. Scarlett, thank you for the 600 jewels. And also, Pam, thank you for the 440 jewels. Also, shout out to HP Akasha. I think HP Akasha. Thank you for the 250 jewels. Also, Jeremy, thank you for the 440 jewels. Let me see. Kapanda Middleton, thank you for the 550 jewels. Kapanda Middleton, and also shout out to HB Akasha for the 100 jewels as well. Thank you, HP Akasha. Appreciate you. We got some reports from the chat. Sis, now I'm gonna leave it up to you, sis, because I know we're at like 2.5 hours. I got a bunch of super caps to read. I don't know. I want to give you the option to, give me your final thoughts or if you just want to sit through the super caps, or what do you want to do, sis?
I'm gonna give you my final thoughts because I gotta make some phone calls.
Yeah.
But my final thoughts are that the family was absolutely 100% on point with making sure that they had access to a Ben Crump, and that they have allowed his team to strategically continue to bring awareness, as well as doing everything in their power to make sure this investigation is actually done the right way. And sometimes the right way means that you got to do it yourself. And that's unfortunate, because that's not what the criminal justice system is set up for. It's supposed to be fair and just to all races, not just the clear people. But we have a clear understanding in Mississippi that does not align
I like that.
with what the criminal justice system actually states. So I am so proud of his family. I'm so proud of their strength, their dedication, and making sure that their son's memory and the legacy, along with justice, being served, because we know that Nolan didn't just wash up on that island without being placed there. So everything that they are doing is the right thing. Everything that is going to come from this is the right thing. And we just got, as African Americans, as long as we are following the procedure, they can't check us. They can't stop us. And that involves making sure that we have the access to the resources and the individuals that can make them do their job. And on the offset of this autopsy, it was very revealing as to the necessity of Ben Crump and his team bringing awareness to how they interfered with this independent autopsy expert from being able to do their job to make sure that the family had an accurate account of what happened to their baby. So we are seeing a cover up in 2026 in the way that they have done in the past, but they didn't anticipate. They didn't anticipate that this was going to be hard on them. We unfortunately got to make everything hard for them. We can't make it easy. As long as we are doing what we're supposed to do, amplifying Nolan Wells and amplifying every other Black person that experienced a roadblock like this, sheriff's department, as well as that community, and this governor with his big ass, he needs to be less worried about spreading lies and going spreading his damn hips on damn hip thruster
with his big ass.
And that's a fact. He running to the damn cafeteria line while instead of running to the damn gym. And that's pissing me and my ancestors off, because how fucking dare you? You can't even run down the damn island, let alone talk about what you ain't fucking see.
No.
So my thing is, keep amplifying. It's going to get worse before it get better.
Before you go, I wanted you to tell the audience how just real quick, how the grand jury process is going to work, as far as like with the district attorney gathering the evidence and giving the evidence to the grand jury, and then once the grand jury gets the evidence, I mean, will the defense have a chance to present anything to the grand jury? How does the grand jury work, the grand jury process, real quick?
The grand jury process is very one-sided. It only sides with the state and the victim. Anything that is outside of those reports that are generated from law enforcement does not come in. So it is very indicative of how law enforcement wrote their narrative, because you will never get the full, complete investigation because how fast the grand jury process can be. So it is very one-sided. You have to have prosecutors that are in tune with justice. As a former grand jury intake prosecutor, I didn't play them games. You have to make sure that law enforcement has done their job. This is the same way when I was a magistrate judge and I had to handle probable cause affidavits to determine if officers had probable cause.
Magistrate judge.
No cap.
Y'all hear my sister flexing up here?
Just a little bit. I've been on all sides now. I said I've been on all sides now, the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Let's get it.
So when you're looking at it, it is very one-sided, and hopefully with this process, we can legislate for change to make it more amicable to a defendant, because that's how injustice stops. If you are able to present both sides. So the defense, any suspect does not get to present their side. But we also can't trust this grand jury proceeding, because why aren't you trying to arrest them first on an active warrant? That's the first step. They're skipping steps to try to skip their way out of this cover-up with no billing. No, we don't want this cover-up. We want them to get arrested. We want them to go and have to stand before a judge,
right,
and have to be set a bond and have a mug shot and have a picture that they can frame on their damn t-shirt when they get out, and also have a condition on their heads. We don't want them to go straight to the grand jury proceeding, because we know y'all gonna fast track them to a no bill. So that's the other reason it's important to have this investigation, this independent investigation, because that also plays a role in being able to provide them with this information. You can't run from the facts. Your facts are your facts. You got to marry the facts. And when they don't present all of the facts, that's how you get to railroad, because the criminal justice system is in it to make money. So the more people they indict, the more money they generate. But with this one, I'm a little concerned, because the clear people are in control of it. But, God is going to always do what is necessary and what is just, even when it doesn't feel, it feels uncomfortable. That's why I said it's going to be bad before it gets good. So continue to hold space for this family, because we have to continue to amplify this over and above, because they have tainted media. And as long as they taint it, they think they control it. But we have shown them something that they did not anticipate: the power of the Black voice. So keep using the power of the Black voice, keep sharing, keep bringing awareness, and keep your foot on these clear motherfuckers' neck.
Come on.
No
And also, I don't know how true it is, but celebrity Judge Mathis, we reacted to him yesterday. He was on a platform called The Art of Dialogue, and he was speaking on the Nolan Wells situation. He said, on the normal circumstances, when it comes to the grand jury, 90% of the time, he's speaking as a judge, 90% of the time, they will indict. They will indict 90% of the time. So I'm saying, so basically with this case, he's saying this is an easy case to indict because there's so many suspicious elements, with this Nolan Wells investigation. This is one of the cases that should be a shoe-in to indict. He said under normal circumstances, 90% of the time when things go to the grand jury, they're going to indict. So
they are. 90% of the time, it's like a ham sandwich. Put your cheese, put your ham, and put your bread, whatever kind of bread you like, and it's going to get indicted. But again, we in clear Mississippi, and we just gonna keep they clear ass in line and informed, and we gonna keep them anticipating what we are coming with next because they are scared, and we gonna make sure they stay scared, like roaches. They scatter.
Come on, man. The public opinion court, make sure y'all put my sister link in the chat. All right, flood the chat with her link. If you haven't subscribed or followed my sister, the public opinion court, please don't hesitate. Follow our sister on all platforms. The public opinion court. Sis, thank you. I'm gonna take care.
Yeah, and thank you, and for not only the value of your platform, but the value of your voice, the value of your community. You have built an amazing community, and that speaks to what you bring, the quality and the integrity that they have. And I see what they were saying about that Django, so I know they don't play about the truth. So
didn't you say somebody mentioned the platform at the rally? You attended the.
No, we had a TikTok live the other night.
Oh, TikTok live. Okay, yeah.
We're talking about strategy, and I was like, we got to get on. I reached out to Freezy.
Yeah.
And I was like, this boy is everywhere. This boy is in every room. You hear me?
Well, sis, me and you was like this. Come on now, we like this.
Yeah.
So, sis, I'm not going to keep you any longer. Thank you for co-hosting this show with me today. You always give invaluable information to the audience, to me. I always learn something new when you step through the door. We're going to make sure more people follow you if they haven't followed you yet. And also, we'll talk about it with your YouTube channel. We'll talk about it. Yeah. All right, sis. Much love. Shout out to the public opinion court.
No captivity.